Hey. My name is Betty Atkinson and I am a grad student at MUW. This is Megan and Megan will be recording our video discussion. Hi Megan.
Hey Megan.
Hello, good evening.
I want to tell y'all welcome to the discussion on ensuring that children eat fruits and vegetables. But before I get started, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule and day to participate in this discussion with me. So thank you. Okay, the overview of the topic is I chose ensuring that children eat fruit and vegetables because some children are picky eaters, which make it difficult for them to get the daily recommended serving of fruit and vegetables that they need to grow and develop properly. Some children are more likely to prefer the sweet taste in some foods and find some vegetables disgusting. As a result, they may refuse to eat or limit their selections to a small variety of fruit and vegetables. Okay, ground rules. First of all, I'm going to tell y'all it's important to be fair to all participants. So therefore, the ground rules of this meeting is only one person can speak at a time. And participants must participate in this discussion. And remember, there are no right or wrong answers. This is only your opinion. And third of all, you already muted your cell phone, so thank you for that. And lastly, have fun. Just have fun. All right. Now, in order for me to get to know you guys a little better and understand y'all's knowledge of nutrition, I would like for each of you to introduce yourself to the group, and then I want y'all to tell me what fruit and or vegetable you had for supper last night. And we'll start this way.
Frankie Hughes. No food. No food, no vegetables.
Marissa Key, and I ate some tomatoes with a sandwich last night. There's the fruit, no vegetables.
Chandra Jones, and I ate broccoli and an apple last night.
Ophelia Hobson, and we had burgers, so
You had potatoes.
I had potatoes and I have bananas.
Brenda Pulliam, I had hamburger last night with the vegetables, and I had french fries.
That we know each other a little better, I want to begin our discussion with a question. I want to know from each one of you, what is your definition of good nutrition?
Eating wholesome fruits and vegetables.
I like garden vegetables. Grow your own vegetables and fresh fruit from the trees. I have peach trees, pear trees, I do a lot of outside work, growing my own fruits and vegetables, canning, putting it up, making preserves, making jelly. I do my own stuff like that. So, and I like to get the real juice, not the cocktail, because the cocktail has a lot of sugar. So I try to keep in mind to buy the real juice and not the cocktail, like I said. And just, just eating, make sure we have vegetables like, fruits like the bananas, the apples, and then whatever comes in season, watermelons, and, just try to introduce them to a lot of different foods while they're young, because if you kind of don't do it when they're young, it takes them longer to develop a taste for it.
Right. I think that it would be organic, non-GMO foods, gluten-free, cooking everything from scratch instead of buying processed foods that's made in warehouses and processed through all kinds of crap. But it's just a combination of eating the proper amount of fruits and vegetables each day and limiting the amount of sugar and junk food that you eat, because it slows you down and makes you very unhealthy.
Marissa?
Well, I know that fruits and vegetables are very important, but I don't eat them as I should. And I probably should start more, because I feel the way that I eat is not healthy, because I feel it taking a toll on my body in certain what would you say is certain?
Areas.
Yes, ma'am. Like when I do certain activities and things, I get tired really easily. And to where if I eat lighter or a little better that day, I see how I have more energy. So I'd say that it's very important, but I'm one that doesn't eat properly.
Miss Frankie,
I do not eat healthy at all.
you think poor nutrition affect children?
Malnutrition, allergies, it can affect their eyesight. They have rashes. I mean, it can affect them in a lot of different ways, especially with the immune system.
That's correct. I agree with Brenda because children that don't eat well, they need the vitamin D and the vitamin C. They need their iron to build the muscles, the bones, their teeth, their eyesight, the beta carotene. I mean, children that does not eat well or do not eat at the appropriate times, their brain does not function. And they can't think because all they're thinking about is how hungry my belly is. And then when it comes to schoolwork, they just do not have the attention span that's needed. But like Brenda was saying, I mean, as far as for making sure that they eat properly or have the best, I know our parents can't do the same, but instead of feeding your kids burgers, fries, and fast food stuff, go by the store and get some peas, some corn, or a bag of dry beans to give them the magnesium and the iron and stuff they need. Fix them a skillet of cornbread and let them eat, and that will help build their body as well as their immune system. And then you won't have sickly kids like we have today, keeping all that candy and stuff rotting out their teeth. That's a problem within itself. When they get all that sugar in their mouth, it decays their teeth early in life. Okay, you decay your teeth out, you can't chew your food properly. If you don't chew your food properly, your stomach can't break it down. So you got half digested food running through children causing stomach problems. So that's gastro problem. So I mean, it's just a full circle with what one could add to a child to maybe help them along.
And then too, I was thinking like a lot of people are doing now. They're doing like starting out with their kids like with veggie burgers, you know, and stuff like that. They're not giving them the red meats.
Right.
They're making vegetable burgers and vegetable pies and different stuff like that. So you could do that.
I know when I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna let you go. When my children was small, and we had our garden, and we would raise the peas, the greens, and stuff like that. During the summer, when the garden was in, we had vegetable dinners. I would fix like greens, candied yams, fried corn. I mean, I just made an array of vegetables and some cornbread. I didn't cook meat.
They seem to be a lot healthier than they would have been just eating not having
All the
vegetables in
junk
their diet.
food
Yeah.
and stuff. My children were very healthy. As far as for my kids going to the hospital with stomach problems or worms or stuff like that, my kids didn't have it. I had one that had allergies, but as far as for the health wise, the bone and muscle being in their percentile rating, they were always average and above with what the percentile rating for the children were. They had good muscles, they were active, would run ragged. Yes, they were very healthy.
But they were saying it's very important to feed your kids the recommended, if not more than the recommended amount of foods that are required throughout the day. I worked in a daycare and I saw some of the kids that weren't getting their vegetables and their fruits and their food groups in. They didn't play as long as the other kids did. They were less lively than other kids. They were more rambunctious and out of control than other kids. And some of them weren't as healthy as other kids were. and it kind of weighs on you when you can't do anything about it. But if you can change one child's life, it makes a big difference.
How it weighs on them. I have a 5-year-old, and they think that he might be ADHD. And I looked up some things, and it was telling me how to try to change his diet. Instead of giving him more meats and sweets, give him more vegetables. It builds them up, I guess you could say. But they was telling me that changing their diet instead of just putting them on medicine would help a lot more, or do the same effects as the medicine would. So I think that it weighs heavily on the child when you don't give them the proper nutrition, because that's what your body lives off of. You know, that's just like if I don't drink water, I'm gonna fall out. I'm gonna be dehydrated because I'm starving my body of that water. So I mean, just as well as, you know, a sweet or whatever, you can change the sweets up, and instead of doing cakes and pies, you can do strawberries and apples, bananas and grapes, you know. So I think that when you deprive a child of healthy foods, you're really depriving them of their health in a sense.
The time between getting out of work, doing homework, and getting a full meal. So therefore, some children only get a full meal or a healthy meal at school. You know what I'm saying? Because parents' time is so limited.
Mine is been one of
And so
It's easier to open a can.
yes, it's easy. Or it's easy for you to drive by McDonald's.
It's more convenient for them.
For them.
But you know what,
And it don't mean it's healthier. It just means sometimes it's a lack of timing. You know what I'm saying? Because really, the folks that's out there working got to work. You know what I'm saying? They ain't going because they want to. They going because they have to. So, and sometimes the children do suffer.
Right.
But, you know, like I said, it's most of the time that's what it is. It involves the time. They just can't get everything in a day. You know, so,
But a lot of parents, that's what they say.
yeah.
Because I was a working mother. My children didn't go without food because I knew as a growing child it was necessary for them to have a good meal. Just because you say a full course meal or I've prepared them, it don't have to be something that takes 3 or 4 hours to cook. We used to go home, my kids, used to do like a little goulash. But it wasn't the traditional goulash. Everybody had certain vegetables that they like to eat. And I took the vegetables and cooked them down, and then I put cheese on it and put the noodles in it and made it into a cheesy vegetable dish. They loved it because it was all the vegetables that they like to eat, and then I added cheese to it. It wasn't nothing fancy, but it was a home cooked meal. And I think a lot of parents get confused with the fact that home cooked meal means something that it takes forever to cook, or just going in there and cooking something fried, right? It don't take all that.
But
Just
can I
something
say
that they like to eat.
I do think that it's certain, like just say me, which you were a single mother too, and I'm a single mother, so you know I understand what you're saying. But back in the day, back in the days and times, to me, my opinion, it was easier, or maybe y'all were a lot more family oriented to where you could take the time as soon as you get off, go straight in. But if you're passing a McDonald's or a Wendy's or a KFC every turn you take, why wouldn't you just swing through there, you know what I'm saying, get a quick meal, bam, they got everything they need right there.
Why wouldn't I?
No.
Because it did not fill them. They would be wanting to eat again, like the next hour.
Right. And I agree. I'm just saying, you know, that's how a lot of them.
That's why.
You know, that's how a lot of
It's easier.
when you work 10, 12 hours a day
Yeah.
and you're passing up out and your kids want to eat it, you know what I'm saying? So it's, hey, let's go and get this, you know, and call it a night. Take your bath and call it a night. I think that's where a lot of it comes in too.
And then another thing, when I was running the daycare, a lot of kids that leave to 5 and 6, some 7.
Mercy.
And so, cause we was open 24 hours a day, and a lot of times them parents will call and ask you to feed them supper. So the supper, what they got is from the daycare, you know. And I'm not saying this with all parents.
Right.
I'm just talking about what I experienced in parents, you know.
Yeah.
And everybody ain't gonna do the same with the children.
No.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And everybody got an excuse or got a problem.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff.
Well,
But
let me
you-
ask y'all this. Do you think some of it could be attributed to the cost?
Food costs.
It
yes.
is, but what I would
yes.
say on that is, even though fast food restaurants have become more prevalent in the United States and all around the world, you don't have to buy that food. It costs you more to eat fast food than it would to go in the store, get vegetables, meat, and some
And
type
that's
of healthy food. You're gonna spend more on that fast food meal that's only gonna fill you up for maybe an hour than you would going to buy groceries and cooking that meal at home. Because if you cook it at home, you're gonna have a larger quantity. Therefore, you can go back and eat over and over again and make sure that you're full. That's that fast food is quicker. Yeah, it's quicker, but you're gonna pay more money for it than you would buying the food and cooking it
And
yourself.
at the end of the day, you're gonna pay with your heart.
And I understand what y'all are saying, but I'm just giving two sides,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
See, like
Another
how you
scenario.
said, like
Yeah.
how you say, like it's cheaper. But we only have one grocery store in the town that we stay in. As to where I could go and get my kids 2 full Happy Meals for $8, a pack of ground beef or a pack of chicken is $8 or $9. You know, the food cost to me, in my opinion, is higher than. It's higher. It's just it costs more to eat healthy.
But with that being said, that $8 pack of ground beef is going to last you a lot longer than that little small Happy Meal that you
You're
get
right.
from
But what I'm
McDonald's.
saying is like the food cost has gotten so high, like milk
Yeah,
and
it's
eggs
high.
and cheese and you know what I'm
But
saying.
see, you're buying in a larger quantity. That's why it seems so high. But if you go out and buy a Happy Meal that's $4, you get maybe 4 nuggets, a little thing of fries, apple slices, juice. And that's only gonna last them for maybe 30 minutes, and then they're gonna be hungry again within the next hour or so.
Right.
But if you go in the store, buy you an $8 pack of ground beef, some milk, some cheese, some noodles, and all that,
Right.
it's going to come out to about the same amount. But you get larger quantities when you buy it out of the store.
But if you
It
walk
lasts
into the
you for
grocery
days.
store and you look at the healthy foods, like how you said,
Yeah,
I mean, if you
gluten-free.
can't afford to buy that healthy food, you can always buy.
No, I'm just giving different instances, like how you would go in there and like you
It's
say
high-
you
it's
eat
high.
gluten free and
It's higher.
what's another just
Non-GMO.
non-GMOs and stuff like that. You look at that food and then you look at the regular food, the junk food or the bad food.
Yeah, but if you
It's way less costly to go
Yeah.
you get what I'm
and the
saying?
medical
But I-
bills that you're going to have coming from that are going to cost you even more money because the food is unhealthy and it's processed and it's got all this extra stuff added to it, and it's going to cost
Right.
you more money to go to the doctor because of those
And
things.
there's another thing when it comes down to healthy foods. The labels don't always tell the truth.
No,
That's
no.
right.
The labels don't always
That's
say,
right.
you know, you can think you eating healthy
Healthy.
and you not really eating
That's
healthy.
right.
That's true.
But
So
out of
it's
label,
like-
you know, you have to be careful about that label, what you're reading too now. You
But
know?
what you saying about the chicken is $8 or the ground beef is $8? Okay, think about it this way. Do your children like macaroni and cheese?
No, they don't.
Do they like cheese?
One does and one doesn't.
See, it would be hard to really cook for your kids. But like you said, a chicken, I could go and take that chicken and season it and boil it.
Mm-hmm.
Take the bones out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like with my children, all I had to do was like get some green beans or some veg oil
Mm-hmm.
or maybe some tomatoes or rotel. Once that chicken is done, chop up me some onion, bell pepper, put that rotel in there, maybe a can or two of veg oil, and then put some cheese on top of it. It's a cheesy chicken dish.
So,
Dinner done in about 40 minutes.
so then too, you would say not only is it price wise, and not only is it time consuming, but is it access? You said that that you only have one grocery store, so do you think that maybe if you had better access or more grocery stores in the town, then it would be cheaper for you to buy fruit and vegetables.
I really do, because see,
I think so.
it's more or less the supply and demand.
Yeah.
Okay, if we only have one grocery store that's supplying all of this stuff, of course they're gonna tax us as much as we can. But if we have little, like in Houston, they have the farmers market every Saturday. Okay, so of course their prices are gonna be cheaper than the grocery store because it's competition. So it wouldn't be nothing for me to keep my freezer and my refrigerator and my cabinet stocked with oats and rice and fruits and vegetables, because I can get it more than one for the price of one at a grocery store.
Yeah,
you know,
correct.
so it's all about, I guess, supply and demand. I guess you would say.
Children's consumption barriers. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a scenario. Suppose you are creating a guide to help parents with young children who want their children to eat more fruit and vegetables. What are the three most important pieces of advice you would give to these parents? I want you guys, I'm going to pass you guys out paper and pencil. And I want you guys to write down your three most important pieces of advice to give to parents.
About what now?
To make them want to eat fruits and vegetables.
Yeah. What are three pieces of, let me ask you the question again. What are the three most important pieces of advice that you would give to parents to help their young children eat more fruit and vegetables?
Think about what you would do to get your child to eat fruit.
Again, suppose you are creating a guide to help parents with young children who want their children to eat more fruits and vegetables. What are the three most important pieces of advice that you would give to these parents? And we're gonna start with Frankie.
Well, me as working with children, no children like vegetables. They just don't. So sometimes you have to emphasize with them. You don't say no all the time. You can't have this. You have to try to make it fun. You have to make things fun.
That's
children.
right. That's right.
And then after you don't made it a little fun to them, so they'll come over on their own. But if you insist that, you need to eat this, and you just have to kind of give in a little bit, and stuff. And eventually children say, they'll get the time. I know you love me. I know you want to do this for me. You have to sort of persuade them a little bit to come over to where you want them to be at, instead of using that word all the time, well, you can't have this and you can't have this. So don't just force it on them. Make it fun for them. And you have less problems.
That's right.
You will.
I believe that.
Marissa?
Okay, I gave 3. One of them says let them participate in cooking the meal.
That's right.
Like maybe if they help, like, hey, I helped cook those green beans, I want to try them. That'll make them eat it. They might not eat as many, but it'll be a start. And second one, just try to go in the grocery store and pick out different fruits or vegetables. Like Monday we might try squash with the apple. Just Tuesday we'll try tomatoes and greens, and then 3 is find different ways to cook the fruits and vegetables. Maybe like do apples with the caramelized sauce. Just something to make it appetizing, because with kids, it's all about taste. Taste and how it looks. If they don't like the taste, if they don't like how it looks, they're not gonna touch it anyway. But if they don't like the way it look or taste, they're really not gonna eat it. But that's basically all I got.
Right.
I said variety. A lot of people cook the same mundane things over and over again. Kids get tired of eating the same thing just like we do. And then I said introducing things at a very young age, like when they're very impressionable, like a couple of months old to the time they're a toddler. Introduce different things at different stages, and it'll be easier to get them to eat it once they're older.
Yeah.
And then consistency is make sure that you constantly give them vegetables, even though they might not know what it is and might not like it at first. Keep giving things to them, and then they'll eventually grow to love it. Because that's how I did my kids. They didn't like certain things, but I would give it to them here and there, and then they eventually got to the point where they eat it, and they love it. They even ask for it now. So, and it just makes things a lot easier, and you have to have a lot of patience with the consistency.
You do.
Because if you don't have patience, they can sense the hostility that you're feeling,
That's
and
right.
then they're like, she's getting upset, so maybe if I don't eat this, then she's not gonna say anything. She's gonna throw it away. No, you have to be consistent.
Because that's what I do. Like you gonna eat this corn, and they're crying, they don't want, and then before it's over, I done threw the corn in the garbage. We don't even have to worry about the corn.
Yeah.
So I know you're right.
Well, the three things I said was to find out what they like to eat. Each child is different, and if you find out what really triggers that child's taste or what they knowledge about what they were looking at. Okay, and then I tried to bring it to them about what it does for the body and the muscles and the bones. So you want to be strong like mama? You gotta eat this and you gotta eat that. So I tried to make it fun. Okay, the other thing that I used to try was to color coordinate and you hide food in good foods that they like, because you can always take and puree something that's good and then cook it into the food that they like, and they don't even know it's in there because it's been cooked into something that they like to eat, and then they'll just eat it and not know they're eating it. Okay, like different colors. Kids like colors, and then take carrots. Carrots is good for your eyes. And then Superman, they love Superman. So you can tell them if they eat these carrots, they have good eyesight like Superman.
You have to emphasize.
You introduce
Yeah.
strong
You
like
have
Popeye.
The third one was the encouragement. Try different things. And let them know that, I'm grown now, but I used to be a child. And mama had to eat these things in order for me to get big and strong. And if you want to be big and strong like mama, then you got to eat like mama had to eat, so you'll be strong and healthy. So that was what I took to my children.
It's, in a sense, it's like you giving in, but you ain't giving in.
That's right. You got food a little bit. You got the food.
You got food.
Miss Brenda.
Okay, well they pretty much summed up what I had down. But I did say you could also play a food game. You can play a food game, and you can, like Ophi said, you can add something that they like, to the food. And also, I said you could ask them what they want to eat. Let them decide what they would like to eat as a fruit and a vegetable. So therefore, you wouldn't have to try and force it or do any of that, because then they can choose for themselves.
Because when the primer really come in is when you try to force it on them.
Like I used to do, like Megan didn't like sweet peas, bald head peas. Right, she didn't like the bald head peas, but then you could take and make your cheese, put cheese in them, and just turn out.
Or sometimes give them an add in. Like I was a mother that cooked everything from scratch, and then like if I cooked something that was sweet, like a cake or something that they really like, well, you gotta eat your food, and I would limit what I would give them, but I would give them a good size portion, and then you can have a big piece of cake. So give and take a little bit.
Well, you have to with children.
That's what I did. It was me. I miss.
All right then. Now let me ask you guys this. Out of this list, out of all of the answers that you guys gave, tell me what you guys think are the top 5 answers to that question.
In the middle.
I'm gonna say this. This is the list that I wrote down that y'all had said. Don't say no all the time. Let them participate in preparing the meal. Pick different fruits and vegetables to serve on different days. Find different ways to prepare fruit and vegetables. Variety. Introduce healthy foods early. Be consistent. Find out what they like to eat. Include encouragement. Play food to them what they want to eat. So out of that list, what do you guys think is the 5 most important things?
Consistency would be one of them for me.
Starting early.
Starting early.
Variety.
Variety.
There's 3.
Ready? All right. Now, out of our compiled list, what do you think is the most important? Okay, we have don't say no all the time. Let them participate in preparing the meal. Pick a different fruit or vegetable for a different day. Find different ways to prepare the fruit and vegetable. Variety. Introduce healthy foods early. Be consistent. Find out what they like to eat. Incorporate fruit and vegetables into different foods. Encouragement. Play food games and ask them what they like. Out of that list, what do you guys think the most important 5 are? I'm going to go around and I'm going to let everybody give what they think is most important. So I'm going to start with Brenda.
Consistency.
Ophelia.
Mine was introduce fruits and vegetables early.
Ray.
Introducing things at a younger age.
Marissa.
Finding different ways to prepare fruits and vegetables to the kids like them.
Miss Frankie.
Ask them what they like.
All right. Now finally, suppose a parent is frustrated with their child's eating habit. What piece of helpful advice would you give them? Start with Ray.
Be patient, because if they see you get flustered and upset, they know that they pushed the right button, and if they keep pushing that button, eventually you're going to give in. So you have to be patient, bide your time, and do it right, because otherwise they're going to end up hating that fruit or vegetable, and they're going to end up pushing your buttons on everything else.
Marissa.
Just be patient, I guess. You know, it'll come with time. You know, if they don't like it, try something else. You know, just don't give up, I guess. Just continue doing different.
Miss Frankie, you got anything to add? No. What about you though?
Mine, what sticks out to me with children is finding different ways to give them the calories. It's like my one of my grandbabies needed more calories, and the way that I thought about giving them more calories, you take an apple, you slice it, you put peanut butter. And she eats it today now with no problem. She go and she eat it. Or like I seen celery. Don't really like celery, but if you put peanut butter in it, that's a whole lot better. They'll eat peanut butter out. Peanut butter and celery is good. You know, just try it. I mean, it's one way of getting it there. I was just hiding food in a food to their liking. What kid doesn't like peanut butter? And if they just nibble on that celery, I mean, they got a little bit. They got the taste of it.
Well, for me personally,
Okay, Miss
dealing with children,
Yes, ma'am.
it's not so much about what we say is healthy. It's what we know is healthy. You know, at the end of the day, we sometimes think things is healthy and not healthy. Because if you give them too much of this, you hurt them. If you give them less of this, you hurt them. So really, it comes down to knowing.
You gotta know your child.
I mean, it's not about just your child.
No.
It's about healthy, period. You got to explore all your options and know exactly what healthy means.
So in other words, you got to know the word healthy.
Yes. You know.
Yeah, you do.
You
You're
do.
right. You
You
do.
do.
Out of everything.
No way to wash it.
Uh-huh.
Well, let me ask you guys this then. Do you think that there is enough information provided to parents about the importance of eating fruit and vegetables?
No.
No.
In this day and age, no.
It used to be we would have they do something at school where you had to learn the 5
That's
food
right.
groups, you know, and how much of what to get the 5 food groups. You even do the coloring books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All of that. They don't have that anymore.
And you had charts everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah. It was everywhere.
Mhm.
And then what I think about, reason why I work so hard to do gardening and stuff, my dream is to eventually have a little spot worked out where the kindergartners and the first graders can come out to my place
Mhm.
and see how fruits, vegetables
Oh, bro.
are grown
Mhm.
and the fruits come off the tree.
Mhm.
Kids think stuff just come out the grocery store.
Mhm.
No, baby, it got to grow on a
Mhm.
tree. It's got to be worked in the soil and it grows out the soil. You got to pump it and you got to prune it. You got to do the dirt. It's a whole lesson, a life lesson in teaching a child how to grow their food from the dirt. Because if your soil is poor, the fruit and vegetables that you get out of the soil is poor. And just like you saying, you got to know what healthy is.
Well, in closing then, are there any other comments or questions that I may have overlooked that need to be discussed?
I will add this as far as this whole discussion in the whole. I really honestly do thank you for having this because I'm one of those parents who aren't as serious about eating healthy and my kids eating healthy. And this has given me different options as to where I can find different ways to prepare vegetables or include them more into my meal. So this was helpful to me and I really thank you for having me.
Well, are there any last minute suggestions anybody would like to make?
I just really enjoyed myself. Being
I
able
did
to
too.
talk about the different
And then
ways.
it's something that it needs to be talked
Yeah.
about.
Yes.
You don't realize
Yes.
how important that
Yeah.
subject
It
is
needs to be
until,
talked
like,
about.
you know, you start talking about how me and her had that debate about the food. You don't really just think about how important that stuff is until you just sit down and just
And
look at
listen.
the reality of it.
That's right. That's right. And then one thing I want to stress is that people think that you got to cook meat with every meal, but that's not so. Because if you cook pinto beans, black-eyed peas, any kind of dried bean, it is considered a meat. So
And I'm not a meat eater,
if
I
you
don't much know
if you
what-
omit your meat,
Got a lot
it's
of
like I
people-
used to tell you know I told y'all about fixing the vegetable dinners. You can use a bean as a meat and you don't have to cook that meat. And your children are still getting all the nutrients that they need from that bean.
If you take all the soda and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can sit up and eat pinto beans without bread or nothing.
Hey,
Pinto beans.
man, girl.
I cheat.
And black-eyed peas,
I cheat and just get me a bowl and eat them right out of there.
I can look like I did.
Yeah.
greens and stuff like
Yes.
that. It's really helpful.
Well, then if there's not anything else, I want to thank each and every one of you again
We thank
for
you.
participating
It's been a
in this
pleasure.
discussion.
Amen.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Amen.
Good luck.
I really enjoyed it.